Coming up tonight, back in business, former Free National Movement parliamentarians weigh in on the upcoming leadership race and the potential return of a familiar face. Plus, the Ministry of Social Services launching an initiative that recognizes the strength of the disabled community. And later, our Candino Knowles takes us back to the island. Find out how native Crooked Islanders are protecting their beautiful and serene environment. These stories and so much more as our news weekend starts now. This is our news weekend. Thank you so much for joining us. I'm Megan Shepard. Former Democratic National Alliance leader Brianville McCartney made headlines earlier this week after announcing he would return to the Free National Movement if former Prime Minister and party leader Dr. Hubert Minnis returns as party leader next week. But how do current F&M party members feel about the potential return? Well, at leader Michael Pintard's endorsement, former Minister of National Security during the Minnis administration, Marvin Dames, had this to say.
That's his view. He's holding to his view. And that's what democracy is all about, right? And, I often say, if someone has a view, we ought not ostracize them for that, whatever that view may be.
Former Deputy Prime Minister Peter Turnquest says he hopes McCartney will return to the party regardless of the June 1st outcome.
Well, I am hopeful that he will rejoin us regardless of whether Dr. Minnis is back or not. Certainly he has a lot to contribute to this country. He has contributed a lot to this country. And I think he has the skills that we need that can help us to realize what is possible in this country. So, again, regardless of whether Dr. Minnis comes back or not, we certainly welcome him back and we look forward to his participation.
Meantime, police over in Grand Bahama are investigating an attempted suicide involving a 49-year-old woman. The incident happening around 8 p.m. on Columbus Drive. Police tell us the victim, while at her residence, inflicted injuries to her wrist using a sharp instrument. EMTs took the victim to the hospital for medical attention, where it was confirmed that her injuries were superficial and not life-threatening. She remains in hospital under close observation. Police investigations continue. Police confirming tonight a 49-year-old female passenger on board a commercial flight from Nassau to Exuma died as a result of natural causes. Police report that when the flight arrived in Exuma shortly after 8 a.m., passengers disembarked and the female passenger was discovered to be unresponsive. The local doctor examined the female on scene and pronounced her dead. Police extend their sincere condolences to the family during this incredibly challenging period. Over the past few years, the Family Islands, inclusive of Grand Bahama, have contributed billions of dollars to the Bahamian economy. We've seen islands like Exuma and Eleuthera take off, with thousands of visitors from across the globe traveling to those islands each week. The nation's leader, Prime Minister Philip Davis, recently said the Family Islands mustn't be left out. This as he spoke about a number of investments soon to come on stream for these islands. Now, during our monthly sit-down interview with RF Bank and Trust Vice President and Group Head of Investment, David Slatter, he says in addition to big tourism numbers on the Family Islands, their real estate market is also performing well as wealthy individuals from Europe, South and North America and Asia are investing.
So if you look at kind of boutique hotels or just second home owners, the high end of the market, very wealthy individuals from Europe and North America, and I guess Asia to some extent, and South America as well. If you look at the out islands of the Bahamas, you look at, say, Cayman, for example, right? I mean, Cayman has been in a real estate boom for forever. When you take such amazing natural assets like the out islands of the Bahamas, everybody wants a piece of it. The key is we need to make sure that we allow the development to happen in, a sustainable way. So the idea of boutique hotels in the islands makes sense. Large mega resorts don't, in my opinion. They can be detrimental to the actual natural beauty, the assets itself. So we don't want to destroy the asset by overdeveloping. But it's great to see Exuma doing well. I think you'll see things happen in Eleuthera Obviously, Abaco continues to recover. I mean, I was in, well, it's been a year now in Hopetown, and you would know Hurricane Dorian hit Hopetown. So much money has been invested to redevelop. So it's pretty amazing.
The Ministry of Social Services officially launching the inaugural Disability Empowerment Month. The month will raise awareness regarding the disabled community while highlighting their strength and resilience. Our Jane Joseph brings you more from the launch.
The Ministry of Social Services, Information and Broadcasting is launching its inaugural Disability Empowerment Month, which will feature an array of activities and events throughout June. Miles Zarota, Minister of Social Services, Information and Broadcasting, underscores the importance of these activities. He says the events are crucial steps in the ministry's ongoing mission to raise awareness of the often overlooked challenges disabled people face.
We want to get the message out that a person with disability or the community of persons with disabilities are in their own right individuals with the same rights as able-bodied Bahamians. They should have a right to happiness, they should have a right to a job, they should be treated fairly, the same way we would treat any other individual.
The month starts with a pinning ceremony for young disability advocates from various schools who have pledged to champion the vulnerable members of our community. Miss Universe Abaco, Chelsea Cooper, who recently won third runner-up in the Miss Universe Bahamas pageant, was a part of the ceremony, continuing her work as a disability advocate. She says she was inspired by the commitment of the student advocates.
It was a pleasure to see so many young advocates, so many young people who are excited about learning about disabilities and what it means for the country. That makes a huge difference.
Larota emphasizes that while the ministry continually strives to make a real difference in the reality disabled people face, it's important to continually educate and sensitize future generations about the impact their actions can have on those around them.
If we catch them at an early age to say to our children, especially those in kindergarten and preschool, that if you see somebody, be kind to them. Be aware that they may not be exactly like you, but they are God's creature, created by God. And let us be kind to them in how we interact with them.
Reporting for Our News, I'm Gene Joseph.
When our news weekend comes back from the break, Sister City Connections. The island of Grand Bahama now in possession of a timely donation from the city of Miami-Dade. Plus, creatives, this one's for you. Applications for the 2024 Star Film Institute competition officially open. We have all of the details when our news weekend returns.
Are you or a loved one under medical care? Do you need affordable medical supplies? Ports International is the largest home healthcare supplier. Medical supplies at the very best price, and you can even shop online. From hospital beds to wound care, wheelchairs to walkers, Ports is a one-stop shop for your medical supplies, and we accept insurance. We have online shopping and 2 locations to serve you, at the Airport Industrial Park and Shirley Street. We also ship to the Family Islands. Shop online and visit us on Facebook. Call Ports at 377-1771.
The sister city relationship between the cities of Freeport and Miami-Dade expanding once again. This as the Miami Fire Rescue Department donated a new rescue vehicle to the island. Minister for Grand Bahama, Ginger Moxie, also has responsibility for sister city relationships across the Caribbean. She notes that this is not the first significant donation, as the city of Miami also gifted other rescue vehicles following the passage of Hurricane Dorian.
Sister city relationships are based on business exchange, cultural exchange, tourism exchange, educational exchange, and humanitarian exchanges. And so we decided to take that opportunity to see how our sister city could again aid us in some of the equipment we needed in order to be able to rescue our own people. And so they gifted us with this beautiful rescue vehicle behind us.
Moxie getting an opportunity to inspect the vehicle before handing it over to the Royal Bahamas Police Force Northern Division. Officer in charge of the North, Assistant Commissioner of Police Ashanta Knoll, says they are grateful for the timely donation.
Thank you to the Honourable Minister for looking out for the Royal Bahamas Police Force and our resources. And we wish to thank you, ma'am, for acquiring this truck for us. And I'm certain that my officers will put this truck to good use when the time is needed, when necessary, to assist the people here on Grand Bahama.
Ever been interested in filmmaking or playwriting? Well, the applications for the 2024 Star Film Institute competition officially opening this weekend. And they're looking for their next round of future Bahamian creatives. Marlena Leonard has the details.
We covered the finalists of the 2023 Star Film Institute competition as they screened their finished projects and received awards this spring. And now, chair of the Star Film Institute, Corel Pinder, says it's your turn.
These finalists came in with a pitch idea to join the competition, and this idea was taken from an idea to them building a team, to them writing a script, to them being able to put on a full stage production or a TV show series. And so we're now opening the competition up again in 2024 for persons that are interested in joining. And so that's whether you're from Nassau, Grand Bahama, Eleuthera, Exuma, Andros. We want your applications to come in.
This year's categories are the short film, stage production, and television comedy pilot. And you don't need to have experience to enter.
When we started the Star Film Institute, we wanted it to be a little different than just an entry into a film festival. When you enter into a film festival, you have to have a finished product. You need to know exactly what you're doing. However, if you're new to it or you've been in it for a while but never had any formal training, we have a committee of persons who have been to film school, who've made several films, people who have produced 6 and 7 stage productions. And so therefore, there's a wealth of knowledge to learn. And so we wanted persons to have the opportunity to learn.
For those interested in taking part, applications are now open.
You can go to any of our social media pages on Instagram or Facebook, Star Film, and you can go to the link in the bio and it'll take you to the website where you can apply. Applications open today, May 23rd, and they will be open for the next 2 weeks. Next week, we're going to do a free informational session on Zoom. And so once you go to the page and you get connected with us on the page, you will be able to register for that Zoom meeting, which the link will be in the bio as well. So just go to Star Film Institute on Instagram or Facebook.
Reporting for Our News, I'm Marlena Leonard.
Still to come on Our News Weekend is celebrating women in golf. Our Danielle Miller tells you how the Bahamas Golf Federation is celebrating women this International Women's Golf Day. But first,
the Bahamas national rugby team gets ready for international competition, and JJ and the Liberty hit the court once again. Our sports weekend is next.
It has all the makings of a fairy tale.
I've seen her came from tiny tot right up
to one of the most highly regarded coaches in U.S. women's college basketball.
Coach, she recruited a lot of our players in the program.
Coach Yolette McPhee-McEwen behind the impressive performance of the ladies basketball team at Ole Miss University. Come join me, Sasha Lightbourne, as RTV presents an intimate look at Coach Yo's life, a dollar and a dream.
welcome back. We take a look at the national rugby team and Jonquil Jones and the Liberty take to the court again. Tage Adderley is here now with our Sports Weekend.
Good evening, welcome to our Sports Weekend. I'm Tage Adderley. The national rugby team is getting locked and loaded for international competition. We had the chance to talk to the team's head coach.
The Bahamas has been selected along with Jamaica and Bermuda to compete in Rugby America's Northern Caribbean tournament.
That's Bahamas national rugby head coach Stephen Thompson, tasked with leading the team to a trip to Bermuda this Thursday to take on the host nation's team in the Rugby America's Northern Caribbean Cup. They play Bermuda next Saturday at 5 p.m., then they'll host Jamaica on June 29th. The squad has been working hard to prepare for international competition on multiple islands.
We've been working now for about 6 or 7 weeks, both in Nassau and in Freeport. Freeport Rugby Club, their players the Freeport Rugby Club won the Bahamas Championship this year. Their players make up about a third of the team. Overall, we've also held 2 camps. 2 weeks ago, we had a 3-session camp on a Saturday and Sunday, and this weekend, just now, we've also had another three-session camp to bring all the players together.
Coach Thompson says this is just the beginning of reestablishing the national program after COVID. Now, the squad travels to Bermuda on Thursday. The Jamaica match will be held in Freeport on June 29th, so we'll have more on that when that comes up. Now we're going to head to the hardwood where Jonquel Jones and the Liberty tried to bounce back from their first loss of the season. Let's see how they did. Saturday night was a rough one for JJ and the Liberty. They caught their second loss of the season, falling 87-64 to the Minnesota Lynx. She scored 4 points, grabbed 6 rebounds, and dished out 3 assists, making only 1 of her 5 shots from the field. Brianna Stewart had 20 points and 11 rebounds for the Liberty. The Lynx hit the Liberty with a balanced attack, with 2 players scoring 15 points and 2 more scoring 14.
Thanks so much, Tage. Well, Women's Golf Day is an international celebration of women in the sport. Our Danielle Miller recently met up with members of the Bahamas Golf Federation to talk about the events they have planned in honor of the special day.
Did you know that Scotland was the birthplace of the sport of golf in 1457? More than 400 years later, history recorded that the first women's golf club was established in 1867 in Scotland. Throughout the decades, women's golf has grown. Countless clubs and associations were created to foster a network of women golfers, whether professional or for fun. Flamingo's Women's Golf Club 242 founding chairwoman Agatha Mona Delancey says it's no different in the Bahamas.
Flamingo itself was founded of a promise that I made when I was inducted into the Bahamas Sports Hall of Fame. And when I accepted that honor, I knew then that I wasn't doing it for myself alone. I was doing it for so many other women who worked along with me and others who had been before me.
Women's Golf Day will be celebrated on June 4th with live events taking place globally. Locally, the Bahamas Women's Golf Association and Flamingo's Women's Golf Club 242 are hosting the inaugural Women's Golf Day international events, which begins May 31st to June 1st at the Sports Center Golf Academy's 9-hole course. Events include a mini clinic, tournament, and a reception.
What we're offering women is beyond picking up a club. It has life skills, it is exercise, it's good for your health physically and mentally. And so when we come together on the first day, we will have a skills competition. And that would show women that golf is not something that they need to fear, but something they could actually embrace, and it's a lifetime sport. And then that Saturday, we go into a 2-man scramble, which is best ball. You have a team of 2, and they both hit the ball, the tee shot, and whatever is the best ball, the team plays out from there. So our pro will then lead you into that aspect of it, right? So it's a pleasure for all of us to get here, really, to make sure that this thing comes together in the way that it should.
Reporting for Our News, I'm Danielle Miller.
On the other side of this break, Candino Knowles takes us back to Crooked Island, where a local bonefish guide shows us how he preserves his island's traditions. You won't want to miss it.
It has all the makings of a fairy tale.
I've seen that came from tiny tot right up
to one of the most highly regarded coaches in U.S. women's college basketball.
Coach, she recruited a lot of our players in the programs.
Coach Yolette McPhee McEwen behind the impressive performance of the ladies basketball team at Ole Miss University. Come join me, Sasha Lightbourne, as RTV presents an intimate look at Coach Yo's life, a dollar and a dream.
Welcome back. It's time now to turn our attention to temperatures across the islands. Meteorologist Ian McKenzie joins us now from the Weather Center. Ian.
Thanks, Megan, and good evening, Bahamas. Welcome to your Sunday evening forecast. Currently outside our studios, we're under mostly clear skies with a temperature of 85. Winds are from the east-northeast at 10 miles per hour. Comfortable feels like temperature of 76. Taking a look now at current temperatures across the country in our nation's second city, Freeport. Still warm at 85. Also in Alistown, Nicholstown, the capital. 86 in Great Harbor Key. A pair of 82s in Marsh Harbor and in Governor's Harbor. In the central Bahamas, we have 84 in Camps Bay, 83 in Georgetown, a pair of 82s in Deadman's Key and Coburn Towns in Salvador, 81 in Arthurstown, Kidd Island. In the southeast Bahamas, we have 83 in Duncantown, Ragged Island, a set of 82s in Colonel Hill, Delectable Bay, and in Abrahams Bay, Mayaguana, 84 in Matthewtown, and also in Providenciales, Turks and Caicos. First look now at our satellite and radar imagery. We have some weak troughing across the northwest Bahamas. This could trigger pockets of 1 or 2 isolated activity across the area that translates showers and thunderstorms. Elsewhere, high pressure remaining the dominant weather feature. In your boating forecast in the northwest Bahamas, winds will be southerly 10 to 15 knot, seas running 2 to 4 feet over the ocean. High tide at 10:56 p.m. tonight, low tide at 5:31 a.m. tomorrow morning. In the central and southeast Bahamas, your winds will be east to southeast 10 to 15, seas running 2 to 4 feet over the ocean. And in your extended forecast, we're looking at fairly decent conditions, but still on the hot, muggy side, so we're asking you to stay hydrated, drink lots of water, and minimize your time in the sun. Highs getting up, hovering around that 90-degree mark, with your low temperatures in the mid to upper 70s. That's a wrap on your evening forecast. Make it a great, safe, fun night, everyone.
Thanks, Ian. Well, it's night 5 in the Our News to the Island series on Crooked Island. And so far, we've covered Cove Point, Majors Key, and Colonel Hill. Tonight, Our News anchor Candino Knowles encounters more residents who talk about life on the island and how, even in their thriving, they are keen on preserving the island's untouched nature.
From Cove Point to Majors Key and now Colonel Hill, our journey across Crooked Island has been filled with beauty and serenity. This island is home to industrious people who live in harmony with nature. Colonel Hill, the highest point on the island, hosts the central and local government offices. The community park, a hub for homecomings and major events. At the top of the hill is a tombstone, often mistaken for the colonel's, but it actually belongs to the last relatives of the Moss Plantation in Seaview Settlement, which we'll explore later in the series. Just below the hill, we visited Under the Plum Tree, a popular hangout owned by Angeles Petty, where locals shared stories of island life. It's where we also met Alex Coco McKinney, a young bonefish guide.
The boating, and I love what's going on here on the island. It's so peaceful, and that's what I like, you know, the hustle and bustle, you know.
Alex is part of a new generation of fly fishermen. His father Elton, known as Bonefish Shaky, entered the industry in 1994. And by 1997, he says the island experienced a fly fishing boom.
It started to grow so fast. It was more than I can handle, so I encouraged a few of the other natives to get involved, which they did. And from then to now, man, it's just 8 of us in total that guides now. And it's been a very lucrative industry, you know.
And while they've thrived in the industry, these Crooked Island natives are keen on preserving the island's untouched nature. These native sons see potential for growth, but believe overdevelopment could diminish the island's allure.
Just a little bit, we don't want too much, but we just need it to grow just a little bit more, you know.
Meanwhile, Alex and Elton, proud of their work, and say they are committed to bringing authentic Bahamian experiences to visitors from near and far.
The tourists, when they come here and they experience what we have to offer, they said it's, you know what I mean, it's so different to compare with all other places that they go to, you know what I mean?
See the faces of those guys when they catch a fish and how happy they are. We get some clients that come here, and to them, a fish is a plus. They just love what we got to offer, you know. In the Bahamas, they're just the different, like, I get guys when we're going down to the flats, and they're just amazed by the color of the water and the beaches and all that stuff, you know. They don't see that every day.
From Crooked Island reporting for Our News, I'm Candino Knowles.
Thanks so much, Candino, and thank you for joining us for Our News Weekend. On behalf of the entire team, I'm Megan Shepherd. Have a safe and wonderful evening.